I almost clicked the slow-mo button.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
I've done it before. And there's like no way for me to correct it. I just couldn't figure it out. So I think some people just watched everything in slow motion.
Really?
It's true.
Oh.
It's true. People, it's Friday. It's Friday. Mm-hmm. My cool new drip.
Wait, is it backwards to them?
I don't know. It shouldn't be. No, why would it be backwards?
Because it's backwards to me.
It's backwards in there?
Yeah.
So they're through the mirror looking glass?
Uh-huh.
Well, whatever. I don't think that that's possible.
Oh, okay.
Regardless, this is my new top, and we got it at Casa Bonita, a coveted slot at Casa Bonita, and we should sign it for another one.
Yeah, I was thinking that the other night.
I mean, to an outsider, you're going to be kind of like, okay, this is kind of weird and wild and whatever, but to somebody who grew up with it, to have basically what's like an idealized Casa Bonita instead of, like, it's just like Casa Bonita always was, minus the just omnipresent filth. And just the terrible, and it was, the food is actually quite decent. It's quite decent. I mean, the old food at Casa Bonita, especially for people who've never actually been here or actually had it, it was revealed after the place was sold to Matt and Trey of South Park that every last single piece of food in the kitchen was cooked with a steam tray. So everything was steamed, everything. And the food was execrable. It was
awful.
But it wasn't even so bad it was good. It was so bad it was good to tell stories about.
Yes.
It was a rite of passage, and thanks to Sabrina, who when we moved here said, because of Matt and Trey Parker in South Park, God darn it, we're gonna go to Casa Bonita. You saw the old the original Casa Bonita.
I did, because did we already tell this story?
Well, we always do.
I don't freaking know, whatever. When we were first together, I was watching South Park, and I was like, oh my god, that's the funniest restaurant idea ever. They should totally do that. And he was like, duh.
I'm like, it's Casa Bonita. I was literally, not flummoxed, but I was like a little nonplussed that of course it's real.
Well, how was I supposed to know? I'm from New York, and Colorado, at least back in the day, didn't exist then.
Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita. Starring with, and when you go to Casa Bonita, you can actually see the original television ads for Casa Bonita that were done back in the day, starring Ricardo Montalban of Con fame. So it was, for me standing there, they have like a diorama display of like you're in a little Mexican village when you're walking into the place. But they have this like little room, and it's like the clockmaker's repair shop with this, which I thought was cool. And I was looking at everything, but they had the TV on, and it was playing those ads on a loop. And I'm like, my Trek fandom and my Casa Bonita fandom have come together, and South Park,
yes,
and South Park. We're getting into triple fandom. Mm-hmm. Wow. Do you want to do wrist check?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It's her silver Brad Pitt. This came from that giant watch lot we bought from Dave Sorkin. I have to rate him and be like, dude, do you have any more watches to sell me? People, remember, we do buy watches if you're looking to sell. There it is.
Whoa.
Sabrina just bought this for me.
$3.
$3. This, honey, is a W76 Casio Marlin. It's from June 1986.
Really?
Yeah, it's the real deal.
Whoa.
And they are, you can just see the Seiko in them. I mean,
Am I moving the thing? There.
You can just the quality of them. Solid stainless steel.
Hey, it's a graduation watch.
Yeah, for me, it literally would have been. I graduated in June 1986. Uses Seiko's numbering conventions on the serial, solid stainless, all of the same case construction designs. That's a nice watch. And it fired right up. Beautiful bracelets on these two, by the way. These are nice watches, Casio quality. So it's a chilly one.
Yeah.
Chilly Willy. Mm-hmm. But nice. Mm-hmm. It's like being inside a florist's cooler. It's about that temperature. It's just about that temperature.
I guess.
It can stay like this for the rest of the summer.
It's too gray.
This is an excellent English summer day.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
It works for Greenbean.
I got used to Colorado's blazing sun.
Yeah. It's weird, but right now I'm feeling this.
Okay.
I really am. So here's the question. It's a philosophical question. Greenbean was built in Abington, London, or I hope it just didn't offend anybody, in 1969, and immediately exported to the United States and landed in Boston. So for all but a couple of months of her entire existence, she's been in America. Is she an English car, or is she an English-American car? Or is she an American car?
Not an American car.
What, because she was born in England?
Well, and also, I mean, if I'm thinking of an American car, I'm thinking of like a Mustang or something. If you say an American car and you point at that, it's like, what?
Yeah, but okay, fine.
I understand your point, but I would never think of that as an American car.
For some reason, I just started thinking about a simile regarding B-1 battle droids. The ones that were made on Genosha versus some of the, the factories for the Confederation of Independent Systems that were spread all through the place there. I mean, talking about nationality of B-1 battle droids.
Wait, is Genosha, that one is the Star Wars one, not the X-Men one?
No, Genosha is X-Men. Genosis is Star Wars. Star Wars. Genosis is the sort of the insect people who are also the designers of the Death Star, which you can see in Revenge of the Sith. When at a certain point you can actually see a small sort of beamed construction that I believe was a device that was taken out of the hand of the head Genosis person thing.
Okay.
Because that was before canon told us that they actually had a queen, which we didn't know at that time, as far as I understand it. Okay, do you want to do this?
Yeah.
All right.
Ivan Yeha 6843, for the gentleman wanting a 1988 birth year watch, I definitely suggest a baby ashtray 7C43 mid-sized diver as well. Lack of service parts is a con though. Isn't that the case for any Seiko?
7C43 baby ashtray. I mean, it's the most notable, suitable sort of watch design from that time. It was designed by yeah, that's a second gen Miata.
Yeah, I like the first gen.
Yeah. Well, it took me a second to figure out what it was because it had the weird non-pop-up Miata headlights. Sorry, folks. We've also been talking Miatas. Don't ask me why. Hang on, just one second. Oh yeah, the same guy and the same team that did the 6105 and 6309 designed the ashtray. That was supposed to be the next big design, and it kind of just never took off, and it sort of languished, and then they didn't ever really repeat it. I mean, there's the Arnie Landmaster one, which was actually the first one of that one. It's too bad. It's a super cool design. I want one of the JDM 7C46s. That's what I want. Anyway.
Joseph Stewart, hey SNS. I recently just replaced the battery in one of my 7548s and have 3 now, Pepsi Black and Orange, and used the Energizer battery that I've seen you use in your videos. Are these the best? What are your top 2 brands for Seiko watches?
I really prefer Energizer. I only use silver oxide. If I could get Seiko brand silver oxide batteries, I'd use them, but there's no real place for me to get them, like in bulk. And I just...
Why do you get Energizer, not Duracell?
I liked the Energizer ads more than the Duracell ads.
I knew you were going to say that you liked the buddy.
Well, no, because the Duracell thing, the cap comes around and goes wham with the copper top, and it says boom, 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 the copper top. and that it has no sense of humor. It's just, I mean, I thought that the textures and the way that it ran was fine, but the Energizer ads are just much better. That's God, hand to God. That's the honest truth.
Gap Bond Dirk, very good. How does the watch make you feel?
This is a question from my old Rolex versus Seiko.
Wait, but then why'd you put this in the last mail call?
Because I screwed up.
Wait, so
No, I never put a title on that one. I can answer it. I'm happy to answer it. Okay, so this is a question that I failed to put in the correct section about from my old video, Seiko versus Rolex, which was a Seiko 8L35 Marine Master. versus my 168 000 sub. And I don't know if it was really a head-to-head battle or anything else like that. Which watch do I feel better about?
I don't know, what waddle do you feel better about?
Well,
Finny's waddle.
Sorry, our cat is he's so fat. He looks like he's wearing like big saddle with saddlebags underneath his fur. Like he's wearing like this weird life vest, the one that's supposed to go around your neck, but instead he put it around his waist because he's stupid. But he put it underneath his fur because he didn't want to be cold. And then he inflated it and forgot about it. And he always looks like, would you say he looks like when he's running? Like a fat man with a bathroom emergency. Going back to the question, I was just looking at that 8L35 My Marine Master today and thinking about putting it on. I'm not quite feeling it yet though, but I have to say in the intervening time since making that video, I have worn my 168 000 many times. At a certain point, I was underneath Greenbean doing some crap like that. And Sabrina was like, "Are you wearing your Rolex?"
I had my hand over my...
No, that's what it sounded like to me underneath the car. And I said yes, and I'd actually been wearing it for weeks at that point.
Oh.
Somebody's getting a nice big load of mulch delivered. It's the lady on the corner. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's the lady on the corner who just bought that house and moved in.
And sprays her dogs.
Sprays her dogs with a hose.
And Sebastian yelled at her.
It's true. Sebastian, you want to talk about somebody who believes in right and wrong? My goodness. Mm-hmm. And he believes in law and order like, damn, you better be following the rules.
Yes, apparently he tells on people when they're sharing food and they're not supposed to.
We were like, don't be, come on now. Nobody likes a snitch, but...
Don't call me a
narc! Okay.
Did you answer that question about...
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. Okay, so... when you did these questions, is that the only one that is...
No. The rest of these just carry on.
Okay. Smay 75. What's the reason for 6R series being bad for reliability?
Well, so here's the thing. This is about that recent restoration video I did of Sini's watch, where it has a 6R15 movement, and after service, they run beautifully. And after a ton of balance hairspring repair, but I got it there. In any case, but what I've found is that they're not lubricated properly. I think they have problems with their automatic lubricating machines, so they have the wrong grease, or not enough grease, or too much grease, or grease in the wrong place, which is bad, obviously. But also they always come with beat error. I have no idea why, and that kills isynchronism, which means that as they run down in power, they're going to start becoming more inaccurate, less accurate. How about that? It's a funky piece of business. So with that, the next question was actually also a reply to that question from another person.
Zach Tan. The 6R series reliability issues. Insufficient factory lubrication and an oversized power reserve, leading to poor positional variance at lower power bands compared to the 4R series.
Yeah, the only thing I think about that, though, is that would only be true if the watch was just sitting there running all the way down. An automatic watch, a Seiko especially, very efficient winding system, the magic lever system. And so if you're moving not a ton of movement is really needed to keep it wound. So I've never actually understood Seiko's, thing with the Sprawn mainspring, 50-hour power reserve. Why? Why do we need a 50-hour power reserve? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. If you're somebody who has to have your watch running all the time, you either need to wear it all the time or wear it often enough that it keeps going, I guess. You could switch back and forth, maybe, if it's like a weekend sport watch. I guess I don't see the utility of it, but that's me.
Bruce Barlow. Those
Hello.
Replacement crown tubes are available on eBay. What?
Nothing. I'm pointing at you because this is important.
I've changed one of my strip tubes previously when they made them out of alloy. The newer ones are stainless steel. Just drill out the old one. Would just use a 2-pack glue to secure, but when doing the final glue attaching, put the crown on the stem so to get it all lined up straight and square, then leave it to set in place. Yes, okay, to run Greenbean without coolant system for a short period of time.
Yes, and thank you. That's great news. I had remembered, I haven't looked at them for a really long time. So that is great information. And this is, it's wonderful because more and more of these very critical replacement parts are coming back. I have a beautiful 77 case for a 6309 and it's got a roached crown tube. So that might be a candidate for me to, go and try this on. So you're using a heavy duty cement on yours, like an epoxy or something. I have replaced crown tubes before on more like dress watches and stuff. Sometimes you can get them out, and typically I'll solder, and that for me that gives it a real like it's reversible, but it's like I don't have to worry about material degradation. It just works. Though I never really have thought about any kind of galvanic issues. With regular like leaded or unleaded solder, what kind of galvanic issues am I going to get? Or does it need to be silver soldered? Or will that give us galvanic issues? I'm just curious. I don't know anything about this, so let's talk galvanic issues. If anybody is a material scientist or knows anything about this stuff, please chime in.
Okay.
Okay.
True Blue Miata. 2 really lovely old Seikos on the wrist. Now that you've planted the seed, you have to go back to the camping story.
Well, here, the most important thing about the camping story is that it ended.
Road Gent 7921. I've had a 7548 for a few years now. It was last serviced in 2018. For the most part, it has kept plus 1 second a month, but so far this year, it's been losing about 3 seconds per month. Any advice?
Well, I mean, obviously, as time goes on, you've got a few years. 2018, is that what he said?
Yeah.
It's 5 years, man. Service interval is 5 years, pretty much. So you're seeing the minute effect per tick of a drop in lubrication, and then also lubrication as it evaporates, whatever impurities have graduated or moved to where that lubrication are. Soon that's kind of all that's going to be there. You're going to have kind of a greasy stain where the lubrication used to be with particulate matter in it. So, but I still have to say that's really, 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 really super duper accurate. That watch is
really good.
Yeah, I mean 3 seconds a month. I mean, that's you're getting a high accuracy quartz range on what was supposed to be a, well, I mean, granted it started with the 7549s, being top of the top, but still, it's a little loosey-goosey, but that's some pretty darn good results. So it's a matter of, can you live with it?
Slim2429. Spencer, this is completely random. There's an artist I recall you mentioning that you like that I also used to listen to. I've been trying to settle the intern debate. Was it Fleet Foxes or Lord Huron? Both sound right and are kind of similar. Unfortunately, it could be either one.
Well, it depends. Lord Huron Fleet Foxes is kind of more around. I think that his style changes. Like his songs are really cross-referential. Like he seems to do a lot of unique stuff even within a song, never mind just song between song. Lord Huron is really, you can really have that Lord Huron-y flavor. Like you can really, feel it, the kind of the countryness and the reverby-ish of it. So I don't know. I love Lord Huron. I'm actually a much bigger fan of Lord Huron than I am of Fleet Foxes, though I do love Fleet Foxes.
Okay, Greenbean questions.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so here, folks, we are now in the land of Greenbean. If you don't care about Greenbean, then you can go ahead and turn off. If you want to hear the camping stories, wait until after the Greenbean stuff, and then I have an outtake of us telling the camping stories.
They're not that funny. Jeff 1176. Great job, Spencer. Getting the carbs synchronized is difficult but doable. You've got it this far, so it won't be that bad. Once you get the engine timing sorted, I bet you'll find the carbs aren't that far off. Once you get the cooling system done and can let her run a bit, get all the seals and the head gasket run in. You get her adjusted. Check out Ed China's video of him adjusting SU carbs for tips and tricks. You'll get there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope I get there. I'm experiencing. I experienced a major setback this week, which I will have talked about separately in a video about Greenbean, where because I wasn't thinking clearly and didn't do sufficient research, trusted my memory. The seal. This thing has the old inverted seal, like canister for the oil filter, and it's got one O-ring seated deep down into this channel in the case squish. I couldn't see that it was there. I wasn't sure that it was there. Even if I was sure that it was there, I'm not sure that I should have done more research. Basically, I left an extra seal on there, clamped the damn thing down, and I turned it on to get it running, and it started right up, beautiful. But I blew a crankcase of oil all over the floor of the garage. So I needed to. That was a major problem, and I wanted to. I could have put it together right then and there, but because I figured out that now the car basically had no oil in it again, it was a perfect opportunity for me to pull the oil cooler. And so I pulled the oil cooler, and one of the two, bolt down apertures on the oil cooler, the whole thing was welded together with road salt from driving in New England for however many years, and eventually it just broke off. There's just the oil cooler itself was bad, so I screwed myself on that one, and but I'm gonna I have a brand new oil cooler. It's arriving today. Brand new oil cooler lines. Doing this allowed me to replace the oil pressure line. I'm going to be able to do that. I was able to get right to the distributor to do some tweaking, which was really nice. So, I'm making progress. This week I went like 2 steps back. I didn't have to have done anything with that stuff. It wasn't leaking. It was perfectly fine. But honestly, first thing Monday morning, run it up just for fun, and the next thing you know, there's a giant puddle of oil under the car. Engine's fine. Don't worry about that.
Jack W4954. Spencer, glad you're experiencing a British project. Years ago, I did a TR250 and learned a lot about Lucas, the Prince of Darkness. What does that even mean?
Okay, so Lucas is the company that makes the electrics for all these cars.
Okay.
Like, for example, right now, by all laws of, physics as far as I can tell, the hazards should be working on this car. All the things that are plugged together as far as I can tell, but they simply don't work. I'm not sure why. I was having this problem, another problem, where all of a sudden my driver's side front signal didn't work at all, and all the signal was going into the running light bulb, and I couldn't figure out why. All the wiring is correct. I looked at all the plugs to make sure they were correct. I took the whole signal apart and looked at it. I made sure the bulb was right. I changed the other little bulb, and then it still wasn't doing it. It still wasn't working until I went and bolted it back to the car again and screwed the thing down, and I guess it must have made some bright metal touching bright metal, which meant maybe it was grounding more. All of a sudden it starts working. Like, that's stupid. You should be able to bolt the darn thing together, and it should work. Like and Lucas Electrics are famous for this kind of crap. They use these bullet connector things that you have to use grease on, and I don't understand why they didn't go to an easier system. Something like modern racks of connectors. That would be great. I'm actually considering making an extension harness for the dash, so I can get the dash away from it and away from the car and be able to have some space to build the thing up. I don't know. It's something I'm considering, and they've never been better. It's been lifetimes of mechanics have been cursing, and he's called Prince of Darkness because an electric lighting,
Okay. See, I thought of the Emperor because George Lucas and then the Emperor.
Well, his power's going to the wrong place.
I'm an original owner of a BMW 2002. Is it TII or T2?
It is. It is a 2002 TII. What a beast.
And it's all original. Drove it to Moss Motors for Triumph parts, and it was swarmed by owners of its engineering.
Yeah, 2000 Ti. Those, my brother was really into that era of BMW, really into it, and he had closest he had was a Ti Lux, which was this weird sort of. It was like a 2002, but it was sort of more. I don't know, more matronly. It's hard for me to explain it.
More matronly.
But it didn't have like the 2002 is this really like tight. They're just cool to drive. They're like driving this tight little like greenhouse, and they're really responsive when they're in good shape. Ti Lux was just it had a lower power engine, but Leighton got it. It was abandoned at this service station in Denver. It had been abandoned since like 1980, like literally, maybe even earlier than that, with this guy named Johnny E. Valdari. He had abandoned his entire life in the car, in the trunk, and as near as we could tell, he had run off and joined a cult.
Wow.
So anybody knows Johnny E. Valdari, I know what happened to his 2002 Ti Lux.
That'd be so funny if somebody did, but I doubt it. I mean, weirder things have happened, but that would be kind of funny.
Yeah, I know. You know what a strange. I wonder about him.
I wish that you still had the. Well, I'm sure Lane still has the documents. Anyway, I reached out a while back about my father's 6139 6005 Pogue.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Needed overhaul but couldn't connect with you.
It's tough. The problem, I mean, like, I'm not going to sit here and whine, but I don't get to really go online or talk to people much as myself anymore, because it's always like, there are a lot of people who want help, who need help, and I can't, I only have, this, and I have pretty limited bandwidth. There's only so much I can do. And it's tough. I don't like saying no to people. I want to make people's lives better. I don't want to be like, no, sorry, man, cannot help you out. So, the only way I can, kind of mitigate that is, I'm not particularly easy to get a hold of, but that's not by design. That's a side effect of how my brain is wired. So
it's not me, it's my brain.
Our daughter's truest statement, she said it when she was really little, it's not me, it's my brain. And we laughed at the time, but she was right.
Yes, and we find out that actually it's true. It's not me or anybody, it's my brain.
It is. It's not me, it's my brain. So I apologize about that. But for those of you who stayed this long into the video, I do have to announce I am going to be putting up slots for sale maybe next week. We'll see. Maybe next Friday I might drop some. We'll see. I'm down to one last job in house. One last 3-watch job. Other than that, the books are clear. I don't have anything else going on like that. So I'm going to need to drop some slots.
So what you do is you go on the website, and then you go to the place where it says to servicing, and then where you can buy it, it says, what's it say? I haven't looked at it in a while.
Servicing slot or something?
Servicing
I don't know.
slot, go on wait list or something, and then you click on that, and it's self-explanatory. Some people, they're just like, I don't know how to do it.
It can be, it's, the website is not.
Well, you know what? I am not a web designer, and I don't care.
Well, that's okay. Well, I think that's it. I don't think we've got anything more. So, do we have anything more?
No, that's it.
Okie doker, smoker. Well, I guess that's it. We're going to settle in for a long, cool, florist's cooler afternoon. Is that the milk truck?
No, I think it's a food truck. But then there's a U-Haul. It looks like they're big on food trucks here.
Yeah, I mean, we were at a thing for our daughter last night at the art show, the Lyric Cinema, and there were not one but 2 food trucks on either side of the thing.
If it wasn't for Willow, I would have probably gone to the taco one.
Yeah.
The one by Jack's is supposed to be really good, and people are trying to get that one for Pobre Pancho, that horrible place that's not.
Yeah.
They're trying to get him in there, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to do food trucks.
I'm 100% down. Did you tell him about the donut?
Oh. We went to Jack's Farm and Ranch, and because I like doing that. Was it my birthday?
It's possible.
Impossible.
I mean, you had a birthday this year.
I had a birthday, and I like farm stores. and then there was a donut food truck, and it was the freshest, most amazing donut I have ever had in my life.
Yeah, like hot, fresh, cream-filled donut made right then and there for you. And it was like, that was a piece of business. That was something enjoyable. It was messy to eat.
Yes. Oh.
No, I'm down for food trucks. I mean, what the hell? Why not? Are we going to sit at home and just glare at each other? Okay, folks, we'll see you later. Thank you so much for watching, and keep watching those videos, and I really do appreciate your watchingness and all that stuff. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, here, the most important thing about the camping story is that it ended. It wasn't that bad. I mean, who cares about being wet and being threatened by mooses?
Oh, that camping story.
Well, which camping story were you thinking about?
The one with my mother.
Oh, God. I can't think about that. The involvement. Have you think about
We were talking about two different things.
Think about all the involvements that I've had with your mother and with your extended family. I mean, Lord Almighty. That woman.
Yeah, we don't talk.
I mean, but a whole circus.
If you want to skip forward and not listen to me, that's cool. But my mother is a real piece of work. So to get out of her household, because my Mima and Peepaw are very Catholic, and my Peepaw was a police officer, and he had thoughts and feelings on how things had to be, and my mother would just cause trouble. She married the first sucker she could find and probably got pregnant first. And then she was miserable and blah, blah, blah. But then she got pregnant again with my brother, who was born with genetic problems that required him to be in the hospital at least once a year for the first 5 years. Then she got pregnant again with my sister. And when my sister was 2, she left to go with my father. She did
the normally male thing. She
Yes.
started a new franchise family.
Well, yeah, but I wasn't supposed to be a factor. I was an accident. And so she and I have never liked each other ever. We just don't like each other. And if she got hit by a bus, I'd feel sorry for the bus driver. And anyway, as an adult, first, she was with us until I was 13 or almost 14, or I just turned 14, I think, or 13, I don't know. And then she was going tag sailing, but really she was leaving and she left again. My father is also a piece of work. I'm not talking about him, so anyway.
Yeah. Just to clarify, her mother left and never came back.
Yeah, she
just abandoned the family.
She just left.
So, any case, that's just a little watercolor sketch of what kind of person her mother is.
Right. So anyway, then I get out of my father's house, with him, this person right here, and then my mother's got, I don't know, because I was pregnant with Sadie or whatever. I guess she wanted to be a grandmother. I don't freaking know. And so my big thing was everything I always did was to make her jealous because she sucks, but it was too much energy. I don't care anymore. So I would go along with whatever her gigantic plans were, with a smile on my face, everything was great because I wanted to make her mad. And she and my stepdad live in an RV, and they were out. They were out here, and I very kindly let them stay with their giant RV in our backyard because I'm so nice and everything's great. And then she was like, okay, we're going to go camping. And I'm like, okay, cool. We have our tent and everything. Everything's cool.
Like camping. One goes camping.
You're in Colorado. You're going to go
tent.
Camping. Except her idea of camping has cable. So we were camping in a parking lot in Estes Park.
Yeah, literally in a parking lot up against a chain link fence. It was. I grew up, going to Rocky Mountain National Park all the time. I've been camping once or twice, and I think about it was just what a miserable event in every single way. There was nothing redeeming about it.
No, it was terrible.
It was terrible.
And we left early.
That's one of the camping stories.
The other camping story was that
they didn't ask about the other camping story.
Oh.
It rained a lot. Wait, what other camping story?
That
are you
one
telling?
with the moose.
Ah, moose. You know, mooses are big.
They're really big.
They're big. My God, they're big. And we were driving the shiny car, Chevy Neon.
No, Aveo.
Oh, Chevy Aveo,
2009.
which is really a Daewoo, and it's not quite a smart car, but they're small. And this moose was moosing it up.
Yep, it was
like,
really
right
big.
in front of us.
But at least we were in the car, and we just turned off the car and sat there and
waited.
And waited because
Waited for this black monster on stilts to walk away from our car.
And it did.
It did eventually. Oh, what else? We had another wildlife story. Didn't you say there was a mountain lion attack around here recently?
Oh yeah, I sent you a picture. There was a mountain lion eating a deer.
Yep, that's for our Australian people who have terrifying outdoors. We have to worry about mountain lions coming in from the foothills here looking for snacks, because there's lots of snacks. There's now, wild deer that live in some of the natural areas. But maybe we don't have to worry so much about the cougars, because they might get bit by rattlesnakes on their way down from the hills.
Maybe.
But Australia is the dangerous place.
Oh, okay, Bluey. Next one. Road Gent 7921. I've had a 7548 for a few years now. It was last serviced in 2018. For the most part, it has kept...
Oh, hang on a second.